morning, welcome. Today we're going to be talking about a high lofted shot. We're going to be talking about a shot that goes very high in the air and stops with height, not with spin, like we talked about last week. This is a hard shot. Everybody repeat after me. This is a hard shot. This is a difficult skill to develop. So don't beat yourself up if you struggle with this shot. It's okay. Everybody, with very rare exceptions, struggles with this shot, okay? Sadly, you need this shot. We were just talking about it a second ago, where if you're on the other side of that bunker over there, you can't hit a low runner. You just can't. You gotta throw it up in the air and make it land softly. So, unfortunately, as difficult as this shot can be, it becomes less difficult with practice. It's necessary. And Marge, how many holes do we just off the top of our heads, we named 6 holes where you gotta have it if you miss the green in that spot. So I'm gonna go over the kind of the basics of this shot, and then we're gonna go over there to the range and try it. The goal today is not to hit the ball close to the hole. The goal today is to learn how to hit it really high, however far it goes, just high. And then as you practice it, you can learn the things that will give you distance control, like having a little less loft. So that's 90 degrees. That's 90 degrees of loft. So if I come into the ball like this, it's gonna go straight up, right? So if I had a little less loft like this and come into the ball, now it's gonna go this way. And if I have a little less loft as I come into the ball, it's gonna go like this. So you see how that works? So you can, hey Jack, you can control your distance by changing the loft of the club. If I hit this enlarged golf ball like this, what kind of angle will it take off on? Kind of like that, right? If I hit it like this, what kind of angle will it take off on? What's the problem with this? Well, I'm gonna hold the grip as steady as I can, and I'm gonna open the face. Tell me what the heel is doing. It's facing out, but what else is it doing? It's not on the ground, is it? So what would happen, tell me again on a sad day for you that I was your partner, if I open the face to hit a high one, where am I gonna contact this ball? Well, it's on the leading edge. It's not, that's the hosel right there. So as I open this up, I'm gonna hit it right here. It's gonna look like a shank because it's gonna go straight over there towards Marge, but I didn't really hit it on the hosel, I just sculled it, really. So for every degree that you open your wedge, you need to lower your hands down so that the whole club can slide under the ball, okay? So for every degree that I open my wedge, I need to do what? Lower my hands down so I can slide the whole club under the ball. See how that works? That makes sense? Okay. How does the technique change with this shot versus low runner and low checker? The low runner, you're closing the club. You're swinging inside to out, so you're swinging to the right of where you want the ball to go. The shaft is leaning forward. The grip is closer to the target than the club head, a lot. The low checker, I'm gonna swing outside to in. I'm not gonna close the face. The face might be even a little to the right of the target. And I'm gonna try to put spin on the ball that is mostly backspin and a little bit of side spin to the right. So it'll drive itself into the green and check, right? Well, with the lob shot, oh, and finally, whichever pattern you fit into, whether it's full body, no arms and elbows and wrists, or whether it's all arms and wrists, okay, and very, very little body. With the lob shot, with a high shot, you need some right or trail elbow bend. Jack's left-handed, so I gotta say lead and trail. You need some elbow bend for length of swing and for speed, okay? I can hit a short lob shot like this, a very, very short one, and if you watch here, I'll try to do that. Okay, I can hit a short one that way, but I really can't fly it very far. I'd be in trouble if I hit it that way over the bunker. So I need some length of swing, and the way I'm gonna do that is by bending my right arm. Now, in my case, I don't cock my wrist very much. I'm still using primarily, mostly body, but with a little bit of right elbow bend and straightening, because I need the length and I need the speed to hit it further. Why? Because this shot is designed to go up, not forward. It spends all of its energy going this way. It doesn't spend a lot of energy going forward. So you need a lot of speed with this shot. You got to hit this hard. Okay, you got to hit this hard. Repeat after me. You have to hit this ball hard. Yes, it's scary, because what if I do that? Okay, it's scary. Okay, that's why you got to practice. That's why you got to practice. But if you lower your hands and the shaft, to your point, Jerry, the shaft can be straight up and down, or it can be leaning backwards. Forward's not really a great idea, although I've seen some great lob shot players with the shaft leaning forward. I've seen a few. They're doing it for a very specific reason that's beyond the scope of what we're going to talk about today. But hands really low, shaft can be straight up and down or even leaning backwards, and then you need a lot of length just to hit it that far. I like a tight grip on this shot. I like a tight grip on this shot. Why is that? Well, because the ball's going to be going straight up, and if you have a really loose grip, then the odds are you're adding an element to your hand action that you don't want to let go of it and then re-grip it. You know, you're not really using your wrist there, you're just letting go and grabbing it again. So I prefer for you guys a tight grip and swinging way left. Was that high and soft? Okay, all right. So what are the elements of this shot? Well, number one, you're gonna open the face a lot more than you're gonna feel comfortable doing. It's a little more forward because you do want the shaft to be straight up and down. It doesn't have to be outside your left foot.
Front and center?
And that's a good question, because as I was saying before, if I swing inside out, look at where the club hits the ground. Way back here. When I swing outside in, where does the club hit the ground? Way up here. So you want to locate the ball right at the bottom of the arc, right where the club meets the ground. That's where the ball should be. How do I determine that? Well, if I make some lob shot practice swings, I can see the club is entering the ground right there, so that's where the ball should be. And it's going to be different for everybody, okay? You know, how your elbows straighten and how much the weight of the club makes your wrist get involved. And it's going to be different for everybody. There's no magic the ball location for everybody. It's just notice where the club hits the ground when you swing outside in, and then put the ball right behind that spot.
And you're really choking up on it.
I am on this one. It depends on how far. That's a great question. Did you hear what she said? You're really choking up on it. Well, on this one, yeah. But if I wanted to hit it further, I would go all the way out to the end of the club. Make the club longer so it'll go further. If I wanted it shorter, I'd choke down some more. So this is a great way to control how far it goes. Okay, it's a great way to control it. You gotta practice enough to know how much it affects the shot, but again, that's why we're just gonna hit balls out into the range, and you can notice, oh, if I choke down, it went shorter. If I go all the way out at the end, it goes further. If I don't open it as much, it goes further. If I open it a lot more, it goes shorter, okay? You can notice all those things. And again, just like with the distance control and speed putting, you're just gonna hit these shots and observe. You're not gonna judge them. This is a judge-free zone. We're just gonna hit them and observe. Not gonna say that was a good one, bad one, but blah, blah, blah. You just observing. And there's actually more weight on my right foot, because if I put this in the center of my chest, so my knees are forward, but my weight is where? I like that. Again, I've seen very few great lob shot players with a lot of weight on their left foot. You can do it. I mean, it's possible, you know, and I've seen that they do it so good, makes you want to do it. But I just think it's much easier to get the shaft to be backwards this way, or to, you know, actually be at least straight up and down and hit it straight up if the weight's more to the right. It's also easier to swing outside in. Much easier to swing outside in if your weight's way back here like this. That's easy to do. When it's way forward like this, it's a little crowded. You have to stand super open to put your weight on your left side and swing outside in both. I think, again, you're gonna figure out for you where's the best place. You're gonna hear a lot of jazz on the Golf Channel and other sources about, you know, don't move your knees and don't move your feet and keep your hips still and blah, 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 blah for lob shots. And then I just watched Phil Mickelson at Boston hit one from the side of the green over there to the moon. And I mean, he rotated his hips and rotated his shoulders, and I mean, it looked like he was hitting a full speed driver. His legs weren't still, and he's on that uphill slope and went like this. Okay, so you're gonna hear a lot of, that's just a bunch of hooey, okay? You need to move your body. Why? It's not gonna go far enough if you don't. You know, if you're using arms and hands only with this lob shot, you can see you've got a difficult time. Even though that was a long swing, it's hard to hit it far enough with arms and hands only on this shot. So the technique for this one varies from the two patterns a little bit. How is that? Well, you can use some trail elbow bending and straightening, because you need the length and you need the speed. And this is, gang, this is all about speed. It's tougher. It's tougher. You don't see a lot of lob shots around Augusta because that grass is like a pool table. It's tougher. Is it possible to do it? Yes. Depends on how much bounce you have. Okay. If you got a lot of bounce, those lies over there are a little more challenging. If you don't have a lot of bounce, they're a little less challenging. But you can hit lob shots. I've hit lob shots off of clay. You can do it. It just takes a massive amount of speed. I mean, you got to swing at it as hard as you do a full speed driver, so the club will, you know, slip under the ball before the leading edge has its chance to grab it, you know. But yeah, I think, you know, fluffier when you're first learning the shot's better. In fact, you know, I checked out the tee this morning to make sure that you got enough grass underneath there. Super tight lies, super, you know, firm lies. It's harder. It's no doubt about it. It's very narrow. You don't really want a real wide swing here like this. You risk the club coming in at ground level with it wide open, and what's that gonna do? I'm gonna hit it right there. You want it to come down. This is a sharply descending blow. So I've heard great lob shot players talk about how narrow this swing is, how there's just not a lot of width to it, and it goes severely outside in. I think that's probably a good way of thinking about it, okay? You're stopping it with height.
That's what you want to do?
You want to stop it with height. Because obviously if you're on the other side of this bunker hitting it to a downhill slope, and if you were to hit it high but hit it on that trajectory, that's just going to run off the green. If it's high, got over the bunker, great, but now you got to hit another chip, okay? Right? So it just depends on I hate to say it just depends on the shot, because that sounds like I'm bailing out on the answer, but it's the truth. It just depends on what you got. Like we talked about last week, you can stop it with spin, or you can stop it with height, okay, depending on what's in front of you. So let's just say that you're to the left of the greenside bunker, the left greenside bunker on number 18, and the pin is all the way back right. You don't have to hit a lob shot there. I mean, you got to get it over the bunker and let it run. You might even have a hard time getting it all the way back to the pin. So you don't need this. But again, that comes down to judgment, not what is the right shot in this situation. The right shot is what you can pull off. And even if that's, okay, I can't hit it over this tree, so I'm just gonna chip out over that way and then hit another one, okay? Right? So it really boils, and that's why you want these 3 shots in your repertoire, your tool bag of short shots. You want to have all 3 so you can pick the one that will work. You know, and not having it is a disaster. Not having one of these available is a disaster. I'm not saying you're going to pull them off every time. I'm not saying that. Obviously, if it's a high percentage shot for you, for me, a low runner is a high percentage shot. The low checker is a very close second, and the lob shot is a distant third. You know, I'm not going to do a high soft lob unless I really don't have a choice. Okay, I've got no green to work with, or I got to hit it over something, or just past the pin, like we talked about last week on number 2, it's going to run all the way off the green. Okay, you know, now I'm gonna try to hit that one. Okay, but I'm gonna go through my progressions and see what's available. Look at my lie. All right, the odds of me hitting a high soft lob out of there are not too good. You know, so I'm probably gonna, unless I've got to hit it over a bunker or something, I'm probably just gonna try to get it out on the green because the lie is so bad. From here, I could do all 3. I can do lob, it depends on what I got in front of me. So all I'm saying is all the greenside chipping things we talked about, you gotta have these 3 basic shots. You don't have to be just as good at all 3 of them. That's a nice goal though. That's a nice goal, go for that. Please try that. Try to be just as good at all 3 as you possibly can, because your short game is only gonna be as good as the weakest shot that you have around the green. That's as good as your short game is ever gonna get. If you're terrible at this, guess what? Golf, especially Terra Vita golf, is gonna give it to you every round. You're gonna get one or more every round if you're terrible at it. Just golf has a way of doing that, exposing our weaknesses, doesn't it? All right? All right, so before we go over to the tee, walk me through this. Okay, so if I stand normally, and then I open the face, and then I lower my hands, I've got a problem, okay? So I've got to back up with this lower grip. I got to back up so I have room to get the grip past my legs. So you're reaching for this one. You're reaching for it. Are you still trying to hit it on the heel? Yes, you're still trying to hit it on the heel. You hit this shot on the toe, it'll be right there. It won't go anywhere if you hit it out here on the glass, because the face is wide open and the ball hits it and the club goes this way and it just loses all of its energy. But if I hit it right here, then the club doesn't change its loft, and it'll go the right, it'll go whatever distance the speed dictates. So you do not want to hit this ball on the toe. I know Vijay Singh has a shot around the greens. He lays it wide open and just hits it right here so it'll come off dead. Well, again, we're talking about somebody that has practiced enough, millions of those shots, to get a predictable result. He knows when he hits it on the toe, it's going to do X, Y, and Z. That is not a great way to learn this shot. We're talking, again, the context is we're learning how to hit it high. So you want to try to hit this on the heel even though the face is wide open, okay? All right, so number 1, open the face. All right, wait, I'm going to address it, okay. Number 1, open the face. Now what? Heel down. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, now what? Weight on my back, okay?
Hard.
Outside in and hard, right? Right? Yep, that's a hard shot. So that's what we're gonna try to go down that list today. And again, if you mess up, great, fantastic. You're gonna learn more messing up than you are hitting great ones. Yes, ma'am, if you can hit it on the heel, with high lofted clubs, the sweet spot is behind the shaft. And on all these shots, if you hit it towards the toe a little, it makes the face wiggle. So if you hit it on the heel, the face doesn't wiggle as much, so you get a much more predictable result. So middle is fine. I'm not ever gonna say middle is bad, but the heel is better. It spins more, the ball goes the right distance based on the speed that you hit it more often. If you've ever felt like, you ever had this situation where you felt like, God, I killed that, and it just didn't go anywhere. It's because you hit it way out here. Okay? Now the low runner will still be a low runner, it just won't come off as fast. The low spinner won't spin very much and it'll probably go to the right. You'll be short and to the right. So anything short and right might be a clue that you hit it too much on the toe. Very open. Yeah. Yeah, and the reason the stance is wide open is I'm swinging to the left. If I stand square, I've got my left leg and my left hip and my left side are in the way. So the more open you can stand, the easier it is to swing outside in. Okay, so if I stand this way, see how easy that is to do? My hands are getting further from my left leg or closer? Closer. I've heard multiple LPGA and PGA Tour pros talk about how they try to hit their left in this shot with their hands. They try to hit their left leg. They try to make the grip go right into their left leg on the way through. Okay? It's a really good trigger for outside in for this shot. Multiple times in clinics I've heard that. They're not going to hit their leg, obviously. I mean, you're not going to try to impale your leg with the club, but they try to swing as close to their left leg as they can with an open stance. What's the difference in this shot and a bunker shot? You don't hit this one fat. Bunker shot, you hit it fat. There really is no difference because you want the sand to go up to get the ball out with the bunker, and you need speed so you can have backspin. You just hit a bunker shot fat. This one you don't. The nice thing about this shot is there is a margin for error. If you use the bounce, if the face stays open, the club will slide along the ground, so even if you are a little bit behind it, as long as the face isn't closing, if the face stays open, it'll slide underneath the ball. It'll like skiing, like water skiing. It'll slide along the ground like that and go onto the ball anyway. So there's a little margin for error here. Not very much, but you can get away with a little tiny bit heavy, a little bit. Just, I mean, half a ball, maybe a ball behind it, not a foot behind it. That won't work. And that's why you see out of tall rough, and a lot of guys making this massive swing out of the tall rough. Again, tight grip so you can get the ball to go somewhere. Everybody got it? All right? Sort of, kind of. I mean, I'm gonna help you, don't worry. Don't worry.